Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanavind Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are 9 different kinds of creations besides the one which naturally occurs due to the interactions of the modes. There are 3 kinds of annihilations due to eternal time: the material elements and the quality of one's work. Purport. The scheduled creations and annihilations take place in terms of the supreme will. There are other creations due to interactions of the material elements which take place by the intelligence of Brahma. Later, these will be more explicitly explained. At present, only preliminary information is given. The 3 kinds of annihilations are: 1. Due to the scheduled time of annihilation of the entire universe, due to a fire which emanates from the mouth of Ananta, and 3. Due to the one's qualitative actions and reactions. So in this chapter starts with the inquiry that what are the different kinds of creations done by Brahma? What did he do? In the previously there's a description that how Brahma was sitting on his lotus flower and there was a huge, almost like inundation, right? Water and air, right? So Brahma himself swallowed that. So that description is given, and Prabhupada explains that how every living entity is struggling against this material nature and trying to lord it over as per his body, mind, right? So here what descriptions are given are, it looks like, oh, what is this? It's very, if you tell this to a modern scientist and you go and tell this in the college, they'll think, that's what they'll say, oh, this all is some mythology, right? Myth, they'll say. It's all myth. It's all nice stories made up for the sake of, some imaginative poet, he wrote it. That's what we are trained in our current colleges and schools, right? We are brought up in that. Sometimes we may get a doubt, what is all this? Maybe we may not, because already we are surrendered to Prabhupada, we think, yes, this is something, but we may not still have full faith what all this is, right? But actually here, that's why it is said, we have to see through Shastra Chakshu, not through Mana Chakshu. Mana Chakshu is, very limited, and as per the false ego that you have, mind and body, false ego, intelligence is there. Every jiva has it. Even a small ant has, right? It has its own false ego, everything. In quality, ant is same as you and me, because they are spirit. But that also has its own mind, ego, right? We can't know in our mind what ant's mind is, right? It's difficult to perceive. So your ants will be walking here, and somehow by mistake you spilled water. It will look like Pacific Ocean for it, right? Pacific Ocean. It will make a theory. Sitting down, maybe they all will have class. That is Pacific Ocean. So what is the value of that mind, right? Or it may say, okay, that light, something is coming, that bulb, I don't know, because I don't have the mind of ant, I can't really predict. It may think, oh, that is sun or something. That is some light, it will come on at this time, something. You make a theory, make a theory, full theory, write a thesis, get Nobel Prize, right? You can do all this. So this is all like, that's why devotee means, first thing is, he accepts the Shastric knowledge as it is. And that's the meaning of Shastrakshu, having faith. Yes, these scriptures that are spoken here are in reality, they are not myth. That's the first thing. They are not myth. They are reality. Now, then you may argue, so where are we seeing this? Where is that lotus, with Brahma sitting on? Where is that lotus, Prabhuji? You may ask. So that's why you are first ant. accept it. Don't think that you are the, like big, so big scientist, everything in the world. Through my mind, I'll get to know everything. With that perception, you can never understand all this. Simple this thing. So if you go into the Bhagavad, that's why if you go further, there's a chapter, this next chapter is calculation of time from the atom, right? If you go to the 11th chapter. So here, there's a detailed description of what is time is given. What kinds of times are given. I'll just skip through one or two. It's a detailed chapter if you want to read. And also it is given how to calculate time, right? So what is being spoken of here in this verse now, creation annihilations are of the entire universe. We sitting here in Jaipur, like having this mind and body, I'm attached to this body, I'm from Jaipur, I'm thinking. Another person thinks I'm from America, That's all his capacity of his mind and intellect, that's all is there, that's his time frame. Mind also, mind and ego also limits you to that. That's why it's called false ego, right? It limits you totally. And you can only see through that. As of now, the Atma, which is supposed to know all this, Atma has the intelligence to see all this. Atma has the, capacity to see this, what is being told here. But because of being conditioned to this mind, body, we are able to see, where is that? If you go further, in the 5th canto, there's a description of an ocean of, liquor, ocean of ghee, right? Ocean of milk. Where is all this? So now you cannot perceive it through this, your thing, but through your mind, your intellect, you cannot perceive it all. You have a limited idea of space, right? You have a limited idea of what is this, my capacity to discern through senses, my discrimination, it's all linked to the intelligence what I have. And that's linked to the false ego which I have. So I am born as a human being, I know something, yes, for your survival, to grow food, to have your own house, to fight the nature, that intelligence may be enough, but that itself is not enough to perceive the whole universe as a whole. So, devotee first accepts this by Shastra. And also another very so-called science that we teach us in our science, in our colleges, makes us think that whatever I can see through my eyes is what I can see. Actually, it's a very limited way of seeing. Here, just by hearing you can see. Right? Just by hearing this, if you have the faith, you can enter that. That whole understanding. You can even see, that ocean of Grita, what is being told. If you have the faith, if you have the purity. So, it's a mystical world. It's not, that's why Atma has the capacity, inherent capacity to see. It's not that Atma cannot see all this. Atma can see, but different way you can see. Not in the way that our science, our what we are taught, or our own mind. Forget about this current science which is grown up now, is about 300, 400 years old. Previously, they were living in a different way. During those days, life was not going on, you think. People were not traveling, people were not having families, people were not building palaces. They were building. Just at the 300 years, there is science, this kind of a civilization has evolved, which is largely based on atheism, which is defying all the scriptures, which doesn't accept everything, all this is all myth. You see, that's how it starts. So that kind of a civilization has been built for past 300 years. So that leaving that aside also, that anyway is very limited. That kind of a knowledge is like, lower than a Shudrikal knowledge. Not even Shudra, it's worse, because 10th class, 5th class knowledge. Because there's only, you're only attached to your mind. Yes, there is an aspect, many scientists are doing a lot of tapasya, trying to understand what this is all. But that method is not very perfect method, what they are going by. Yes, some genuinely people are trying to understand what is truth. All that may be there. What is this vastu? Vedyam, vastavam, true. They're trying to understand. They're inquisitive. But the method they're adopting is largely, not as per the parampara. So if you accept this now, if you are really a scientist on the scriptures that are spoken of here, then if you accept it and you can do research. It's called not research, it is revelation. It's revelation of this knowledge that is there. That revelation will happen if not just by your, yes, there should be a tapasya of following the parampara, of hearing, there should be an application of intelligence. Just by that you won't get it. But that is not all. That comes by higher faith to the parampara. And how much you have served the parampara, how much you have served the spiritual master, how much purified you are. Based on that knowledge will get revealed. And sometimes that knowledge is revealed as per Krishna's choice also. It's not that everything we have to know, or what is happening in the Satyaloka. Why we should know? We just go back to Godhead, right? That's more important. So, what is being spoken of here is of we accept it as words of the scripture. We have faith. There's a faith. And that faith is not a blind faith. This faith is based on fact that so many great sages have performed these austerities as per their guru. They have followed their guru and they have seen it in the parampara. Proper guru is there. You have accepted him. They have seen this knowledge and they have dedicated their lives like that. So we also are following that. The faith is not just blind one, like I said. Rather, this faith in the scientists is vain because they keep changing their words. Every three, new philosophy will come, new theory will come, right? New Nobel Prize will come. First you gave Newton said something, next he said something, next he said something. Because basically it's a question of how intellect, how powerful you are in your intellect, what you did. And you are at one level, you are only revealing very small aspect. For I said, if the water has fallen here, for the ant, it is specific question. No, for its intelligence, for its space, for its mind. It is like the big, whatever we are calling this specific question, it may call something else as per its knowledge, right? So it may be relatively some level truth, but that relative truths we have to go out of. If you want to get scriptural basis, you have to go out of all these relative truths and go to this faith in the scriptures. Then, okay, does that mean simply I don't understand all this at all? I just simply speculate or what it may be? No, what we have to do is hear the scriptures and try to apply our intellect and try to analyze each thing, what it means. Where did Prabhupada say this? In this context, did Prabhupada give a lecture? And of course, just not that academic, you cannot get this knowledge also. Just, theory, sit here and keep reading through the scriptures only. Of course, reading Bhagavatam is service. But with that reading and studies, you serve the Guru. Serve him. Then this will get revealed. This truth you will see. It's not a myth. It is reality. There is a Brahma, who is controlling this whole universe, who actually built this universe. Is the Prabhupada says, secondary engineer of this universe. He has got the mind of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Prabhupada says in this one of the purports if you read. So that much power he has got. So all that we can perceive. We will be able to perceive when we serve the Guru. We will be able to see that yes, Brahma is actually controlling. There is Shiva controlling. There is, Indra is the head of the demigods. Or whatever. There are so many demigods, right? 33 crore demigods are described. There are different demigods. To you in your vision, what you can see, moon is there like this, sun is there. Just like the Pacific Ocean, ant was seeing, you think, this is what it is. And you think the sun is some plate of fire, right? Now they are coming out with the theory of how fusion is the main thing that produces the energy of the sun, right? That's science theory. It has got so many conjectures, so many things. So we don't go by those conjectures, we go by Shastra. There is a sun planet, and for example, so many stars are there in the sky. Right? There's a constellation. 27 constellations are described in astronomy. Right? That is also accepted. Right? Mesha, what else is Vrishabha, Mesha, Vrishabha, Gemini. Those zodiac, signs of zodiac are there. There are planets. If you go to astronomers, there is astrophysics. If you read, they'll describe they keep watching the sky because the position of the stars remains almost constant with the time also. So they prescribe that, and there is a whole description of, there is Ayanamsha, there is a spinning of the whole earth, the whole universe itself is spinning around its axis. So it is said that also spins around. So all these astronomers are predicting. For us, it looks like, star means one small dot of light. That's what our mind and body tells, right? Intelligence tells. Is that what it is? No, there is a planet there. Even scientists accept that the light that is coming, what you're seeing, is so many light years away. Something else will be going on there at that time when the light what you see in your eye. Just like the Pacific Ocean, the ant saw, right? It's like that. So we should note that we accept sun god means there is a sun planet, there is a sun god there. We may not be able to see it. If you go, okay, I'll travel by Sputnik and go and see the sun planet, you will not be, because you will be burned before you go there, This body cannot see it. But you can see by Shastra Chakshu, okay, there is a sun god who is an expansion of Narayana, Surya Narayana we say, and his body is, just like our body is predominantly made of earth, we say, right? Our body is made of earth. So every material element has all these Panchabhutas which we speak of. What are that? Bhumi, Rapa, Anala, Vayu, Kam, right? Bhumi is earth. Actually, when we say Bhumi, it doesn't just mean this earth in that sense. This earth is, we take mud, that's not that. When we say earth, what it means is the element which can be perceived by all the five senses. An element which has a sense of taste, smell. Smell is a distinguishing feature of earth. So that element is predominant here in this way we are living. And we have made a body out of that. We are made, false ego, we are given out of that, earth. So we think grossly, we think this is, the earth, I am this body, we think, right? That because our ego is there behind everything. So the science is not even gone to that. They are only in the earthly element only, stuck with that. They are trying to analyze. Because their senses, they are saying, only what I see I can accept. So they are seeing with their senses. That itself is not perfect. Sun you see as a plate of fire, but actually it's not, it's a planet. It is about how many times? Anybody astronomers will know? The size of Earth? Huh? So it's so big, right? So it is so big. So there is it's producing light. Their body is made of element of fire. Whereas in a moon, it is separate. It looks for you the distance like that. You see, based on your mind and body, you have conceived a distance. So that distance is that far you're taking, right? So if on the other hand, you are in this body and mind, you're seeing like this. That's like ant seeing, the world. Now you go away, the ant starts hearing, okay, there is a Jaipur temple here, there is a Krishna Balram temple, there are people who are living. Oh, then it's really getting knowledge, right? Not as per its mind and body, but as per what is the truth. I'm saying again is relative, but I'm saying for that. Similarly, if we go out of this, that, oh, I am this body, earth, this far, this distance and all, you leave aside and hear scriptures. Then you can see, you get into another plane of knowledge. So by hearing all this, we can go into that plane of knowledge, where we can see, so scriptures, Bhagavatam scriptures is not, actually, what you call, dogmatic. Oh, I am telling you this, so you accept, if you don't accept, you are this way, that way. So it is not that way. Dogma, it is a actual description of truth as perceived if you hear from the Shastric evidence. That's with the Atma level it is knowledge, this is. So you have to hear it like that. You take it like that. So simple example I'll tell. Similarly, the ant also has a life, right? It has got, as per its mind, it's got a life. It thinks I'm going to live 100 years. Or it thinks I'm living eternally. Everybody thinks in this body, I'm eternal. This body means I'm there forever. Right? That's our biggest illusion. We also know, as we grow older, bodies will decay. We all know, but we are seeing everybody happening, but we think, no, I am permanent. This body is permanent. This body, this intellect, everything is permanent. Because soul is like that. Soul is permanent. But it is falsely putting it on this body. So as per the mind also there is a time factor. As per you, the ant lives, there are some descriptions, there are, I think each ant's lifespan is about 13 days as per our time. Right? It is as per our time. For it, it's 100 years. So for us, we are thinking 100 years I am living. So much illusion in humankind is that I am living forever. You are thinking, but you'll get kicked out. Murtyu will come and say, Hare Krishna, go. Hare gaya, bhaiya, time ho gaya, niklo, right? Prabhupada says. So it will go, you have to leave. Or old age will come, you will force upon you. You cannot accept all this. You cannot say, I'll be there forever. No, you have to go, sir, go. That's all, right? So this body is finished, but we are under that illusion. But we are thinking, as per my mind, it's 100 years. But as per if you go to Brahma's mind here, It is like that ant, no, 13 days. Not even 13 days. It's like Brahma's, that, what is it? You cannot even make out the Brahma's, our lifetimes to that. Right? So, we are pushed by time. Time also is relative to your mind and intelligence and ego, what you have. Right? It's relative. Now we have assumed that this watch, is moving, that clock, that seconds that you link to that time. And you're thinking that that's what it is. But if you go to the watch of Brahma, this is nothing. Right? So, that watch of Brahma, is it some dogma? No, it's a reality. That's why this what is being spoken of here now. Due to scheduled time of annihilation, there are 3 kinds of annihilation. There are 9 stages of 9 different kinds of Navavidha, it's told, creations. As we go on, it will be described. So now you have to see that if you see from your mind and body standpoint, it's all myth. But you hear from the Shastric viewpoint first, and then also see, little bit you can try to perceive by intellect. Atma has an intellect to perceive this. We can perceive it actually. So, little bit you perceive it and see. So, like I said, what are the 8 elements? First is that Bhumira Panalo Vayu, then there is Manas Buddhi Ahankar, right? So, it is said that Brahma's body, gross body, our body is made up of earth more. Brahma's body is made of intellect, the element called intelligence. So, if you really grossly want to see like that, earth is some level, 10 times that is Bhumi, Apa, water, 10 times that is Anala, fire, 10 times that is Anala, Vayu, air, then 10 times that is called Kham, that is Shabda, right, ether. So, ether itself you cannot perceive by, the ether only you can know by hearing. The space, what you call, see now our science has taught you to think that matter, you see, is made up of this electron, proton, all these things revolving around. That's what it makes matter, right? We have got an idea of the matter. Just like the ant thought, this is this, it made a theory, we made this theory, which is limited, which is not at all seeing the truth at all. First of all, you are not even seeing the relative truth also perfectly. That relative truth is your mind, ant mind it is. Don't see, the relative truth also is wrong. But if you want to really treat the relative truth as per Shastra, you can see it here. How is that? That can only perceive by sound, by the concept. What is sound itself? Element. What is described if you go into fundamental nature in 25th chapter of this 3rd canto, fundamental principles of nature is described. You should forget this, Dalton's theory, that theory, this theory, forget everything else and see as per that. What is that element? Element called sound. Sound is that which gives you the perception of an object. Having the speaker is hidden from the view. First of all, we have a very impersonalistic view of the world. We think this is energy. We have no idea of that also at all. That there's a person, Vishnu actually is creating. He's creating this universe. That itself we don't have. So first you accept that and then you see this. Then what is that? He created the space. Sound. Sound is just each of the element you analyze. If you want to analyze, be a scientist, be that scientist. Take this fundamental principles of nature, what is described in the Bhagavatam. Take this concept of time that is here. Apply your intelligence for it. You can perceive. It's not that you cannot perceive. It's not myth. It's a question of purification of heart. And also, it is said in the Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad Gita, that when you're in Sattva-guna, right, all the gates are limited with knowledge. Right? So then when you're able to see that I am spirit, then all this will become obvious. You will be able to see it if you are in Sattva-guna, that pure, if you're chanting so purely, all that, you will directly be able to see it. So let us once analyze this time, okay? Simple one aspect of, there are so many aspects to this, it itself is a big theory. Actually you can have, instead of all these so many theories, quantum mechanics, you can have a whole theory on this you make. We should have, future will come like that, where a technology is based on these scriptures, where people will analyze and understand and a whole civilization will be established, golden age, right? It's a part of this golden age, it will happen, where this knowledge will be spread, it will be best, it is not myth, it is in truth, and it will not be cheating also. It will be Perfect knowledge it will be. Even relatively also perfect knowledge. And people with that, so Brahmana means what? What is the Brahmana? He is in Satoguna. He is able to see all this. He is able to see the scriptures. Brahmana is Astikyam. His faith is in the scriptures so much because he has realized it also. Gnana Vignana Sahitam. Gnana Brahmana means, that dogmatic, okay, I am doing puja, give me maintenance, dan le lo, वो ब्राह्मण नहीं है, वो ज्ञान है, इसको ज्ञान लेना है, ये ज्ञान को उसको पास होगा, इसका जो बोलते हैं ना, हर सेंसेस उसका प्यूरिफाई होगा, वो देख पाएगा कि ये सत्य है, that's what it will be. So that research has to happen. It is not that happened. We are just now building temples, struggling, maintaining, right? Trying to struggle to maintain temples. That's our current scenario. There will be a golden age where all this knowledge will be spread as per this. People will accept this faith. And they will be actually blissful. It will happen. It will happen as days come on. So in that one aspect of this, the science has to happen. The research, not exactly, it's not right to call it research. It is revelation as per the scriptures. Because already truth is there, you don't know. Research means something you don't know, you get to know. But already it's there. Knowledge is there, just that you are fully covered in ignorance. You are opening up your ignorance and seeing it. That should happen. So what happened? Let us look at only one aspect of this because it's a very detailed subject. If you want to get into it, there are many very senior devotees who have analyzed this and gotten into this way, that way. They can present more on the science aspect. But only one aspect let us look at, time. So if you go in the further, it is described, you see, time, on Truti it is called, the lowest form of time. If you go into the next chapter, it is described. That is 8 by 13,500, if I am right. I forget now. Prabhupada puts that in this. Right? 8 by 13,500, I think. I remember reading it. So, of a second is called Truti. You see? So that is described. Means that sages knew the time also, that level of time. Right? We are trying to know second, nanosecond. Right? That's all our science can take us. Here already Triti is described. And Lava we call, no? Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Haya. Lava Matra. So just you touched Prabhupada for Lava. That is also, if I am right, is 1/3 of a second. 1/5 of a second. So that much you touch Prabhupada, you will get Siddhi. Right? So Lava is described here. So time like that is described. Now that is one level. Then Muhurta is there, right? We all in astrology, if you go, there is a Muhurta. There are two opinions on it. Of course, it goes by, there are 48 Muhurtas in a day. If you go, there's a whole description. You divide some sunrise to next sunrise, that's a day. You divide it. This whole, if you go into astrology, there's a whole description of Muhurta. As per our thing, hours, second, minutes and hours only, and day. Right? There are further in this, Nadi, Vinadi, these descriptions are given if you go into those times. So, it means that they were not that these people were some dumb, tribals sitting in some forest. They were not this, they were Brahmanas, high class Brahmanas they were. Of Vedavyasa is writing means, he is the incarnation of Krishna himself in the knowledge, right? So, he is writing. So, they were, these people who wrote are not some stupid, like the current science civilization tells. Indians, are tribals having faith in some, they're sitting in some god, something, that's the perception they have. No, they were all really of this. So, that's why they knew the material world also. It's not that what the relative knowledge also was perfect also. So, in time that is defined here, Prabhupada explains in that, it's here, see. 130 is 1 by 8 by 13,500 of a second. This is the lowest form of time, fraction of time that is described. So maybe what you call bacteria may live as per that time. For that, but that is full 100 years. Right? It's over, right? So like that. So whereas for us, one kashta is 8 seconds. One lava, sorry, I was right. 8 by 45th of a second is one lava. It's described here. Okay? So this is, and then we also know, right? Muhurta, Kshana, Lagu, Danda, Prahara. One Prahara also is there, 3 hours, it's equal to 3 hours. We also say Ashtakaliya Leela, right? Yes. We divide 24 hours into 8. So that is but day. So that seems relative to us very comfortable to understand, right? But 8 by 8, 13,000, we can't even perceive in our mind. Right? Similarly, one is this, our life is 100 years, if you take. right? If you take that 100 years, if you go by that 100 years, you calculate Brahma's life is, we all know what, right? 4,32,000 years is one Kali Yuga. Double that is Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. Double that is Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, then finally Satya Yuga. So 43,20,000 years. So that's a very high span of time. We cannot even perceive in our mind. That is, what is that? 1,000 such cycles is 12 hours of Brahma. So in that span of 12 hours, that is, you take 100 years. That is one breath of Mahavishnu. Over. He breathed. Brahma's planet came inside him. Right? Over. That is his one breath. Our breath, one breath is what? How many seconds? I don't know. You can calculate. That is his time frame. Right? So that's why relative to the mind, relative to this, all this is coming. So in that whole creation, what is being spoken of here is that here 3 things are told. 9 creations as we go, it will be discussed. Brahma as an intellect, he sat and he created each of those perceptions. It says, sense of perception he created. It's described here, if you read. There is a sense of perception, all that you will know as we go on to the next verses. The 9 creations. Then it is also described the different kinds of living entities are created. When you say created, what does it mean? He created that ego, that intelligence, all that he created. Brahma created. For all the souls and getting attached. We are now having this false ego. We have come and become attached, right, to this body. So he created that whole thing so his whole body is made up of intelligence. That is about some gross earth that is some huge, that's 10 times more, right? 10 times you take. That is 80 times the size of the earth. That's called element, if you want to see like that. From that, the ego takes out one amount of intelligence, some amount of space, some amount of this. As per your karma, you take it. That's the whole creation of the Lord. And that's what is being told here, scheduled time of annihilation of the entire universe. I could try to research more on this, but I could not get specifically. I am inferring. That is, even the Mahavishnu himself goes into the entire Mahatattva, if you read. I think that is what it is referring to here. That annihilation here is being spoken of here. First annihilation, due to scheduled time of annihilation of the entire universe. That is, even Mahavishnu also just goes. How did this whole world come up? Based on Mahatattva, right? All the false egos of the living entities who wanted to enjoy, that is the Mahatattva. That is manifest, which is just plain, which is undivided, without variegatedness. So Mahavishnu enters into that, then it starts interacting. Material modes are there, 3 modes are created, Sattva Guna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna. From Sattva Guna comes the mind. From the Sattva Guna comes the demigods. From Rajaguna comes the senses, right? And the, what else? From Tamoguna comes the gross, Bhumi Aropanolo Vayu comes from that. So like that, this whole description. So when Mahavishnu enters that, all this becomes working. The material nature starts working. So that's what is being referred to here. Next is due to fire of emanates from mouth of Ananta. That is referring to each universe. That is when the Brahma goes into when he breathes in, goes inside the Vishnu. So that's what is being referred to here. And then due to one's qualitative actions and reactions, third annihilation. So that is as per the mind and body which we have. Ant has 13 days. We have 100 years as per us. As per Brahma, it is some few seconds. Brahma has so many kalpas of life. So like that, as per that, that's as per one's qualitative actions and reactions. That's what I'm inferring. I try to refer, but this is what these 3 refer to here, annihilations. So there's a creation going on. There's a annihilation going on. And even as per if you know, the lower planets are inundated. Even in this earthly life of 43,20,000 years, into that 1,000 cycles, into 100 years, into 30 days, into that, right? So that many years, in that also there is also annihilations. Lower planets are annihilated, higher planets are there. The Maharloka is not annihilated, right? Those things are descriptions are there as we go further. So that's what is being referred to in the third annihilation here. So as per the demigod's time, our 6 months is equal to their 1 morning, and our 6 months is equal to their night, right? So as per their time, that is as per their mind and false ego, they have that. So that's what is being described here. So we should hear from the scriptures and understand that, come out of this bodily concept that we are in now. My 100 years is all in all. My this is all in all. My body is all in all. So this is a way to hear and come out and get into a higher plane of truth, relative truth itself. Because of getting to know that is why we should hear these portions of the scriptures and get purified. This is purification of heart, right? Purification of heart means like to know, okay, I am not being conditioned by this body, mind and false ego, right? We come out of it. So we have to come out. So, Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
Also they read and they also say that we have faith on the scriptures, have faith on the scriptures, same thing they will hear. But from our perspective, they are not in the right line. So how to make them convince or understand the things in the right way?
Yeah. Now, first of all, we should note, knowledge cannot be two. My knowledge, your knowledge cannot be knowledge. Right? Knowledge is only one. Truth. Right? It cannot be, relative. Again, we are coming in relative platform then. So, having said that, there can be many universities of knowledge. There is MIT, there is BTech here, MNIT, right? Here, what is the most? There is a NIT, right? Kurukshetra is there. There is IIT, right? Each one may have different grades of, fame or whatever you may call. But all, they will not say 1 + 1 is equal to 2 and there it is 1 + 1 is 5. No. It cannot change, right? So, if bona fide universities are teaching, knowledge will be same. There can be many bona fide universities. There is no wrong in that. Of course, there may be universities which are further advanced or whatever. But the knowledge cannot be different. You may, so how do we understand this? This knowledge of the Bhagavatam is perfect. It is spoken directly by Krishna and it is spoken by the great sages. So it cannot be two in this thing. You can have a bona fide, if you are not bona fide, then there will be difference. So you have to check the parampara first. What is the parampara? Like we come in this parampara, Prabhupada's parampara. Even within ISKCON also, there are deviant gurus who are claiming to be equal to Prabhupada, right? So they are also not really authorized universities. They may be right in some aspects, but they are not 100% truth. So unless you stick to the right parampara, you cannot, there will be difference always. So we have to discern whether there is an authorized parampara or not. We can also not say only ISKCON, the rest all is bogus. That is also wrong, because there are 4 sampradayas which we know, right? Authorized sampradaya, and there are genuine representatives of each also. So as per that, they may be teaching. So given all this, so if first is, that's why we always ask who is your authority when we speak in our parlance, that we ask who is your guru, who is your parampara, what is it? That's what we first ask. Simply I can talk so many things, it's very easy. So that's why we ask, this is natural. Where did you get your BTech? You'll ask, no. Where did you get your MBBS? You'll ask, similar to that. So it is like that. So there is, so if there are represent same universities, same knowledge with authorized universities, there won't be difference.
Material knowledge, yeah, this is, but in terms of when we talk about spirituality, people like outside world, there are many thousands of Jagat Guru. They say.
Many of them are not bona fide. We know, right? We have to go by scriptures, whether they are bona fide or not. First of all, are they following their guru or not? Are they first of all in one of the 4 paramparas? Check. First tick, checklist. Next is, are they following their guru properly? Next list. These are checklists we have to know knowledge. So I'm just giving an analogy so that you can extrapolate to this also, spiritual knowledge also. So there are many genuine people who are following, for example, the Sri Sampradaya. There are many genuine sadhus there also. So they also have their understanding. They are also trying to analyze. So that always will be there. And there will be some very prominent acharya who would have spread it fully. That is Prabhupada. So if somebody is saying, contrary to what Prabhupada said, then Hare Krishna will say. We will not accept. If Prabhupada has said something and this fellow is giving some other interpretation, then he is not in, he may be, even if he is in one of the authorized paramparas, maybe he is not fully understood it. He is misrepresenting. Our gurus are misrepresenting. So-called ISKCON gurus. They are misrepresenting left and right Prabhupada. They are claiming next, they are the next in succession. They are not. So, like that, there will be many also. In the parampara itself, there will be unbona fide people also. Or some people are trying their best, they're not able to follow, or whatever. They're not fully realized, they're not following the Guru properly, whatever. That could be the reason, because the difference cannot come. The knowledge in itself cannot be itself that. Then what is the meaning of this knowledge? Then we better not discuss, right? Everybody will have their own knowledge. Right? Better not have any scripture only. I'll speak whatever I want, you'll speak whatever you want. That is not truth, na. So that's why we have to first is somebody is so contradicting that's why we say Mayavada is not the actual representative of Vedas itself. Because whole thing they are throwing away. The main thing is they are distorting the truth that I am God. Right? Everything is God. Everything is God. So we don't accept them as parampara, right? They also have their own parampara. If you see Shankara's parampara, they also say the same knowledge what you speak. There's a parampara among them, Bhagavata Pada, I think something they say. I forget those. There are some 4 of the Shankara followers also. So this parampara system is a valid thing. What you are also seeing here now, the B.Tech, all this you are seeing, is actually a offshoot of that originally what was there also in scriptures. There would be, first thing they would ask is, who is your Guru? What is his parampara will be the first question. So, if there is a debate now, further debate, sometimes it can also mean like the Sri Sampradaya, they worship Vishnu, Krishna in the mood of awe and reverence. Whereas the Goswamis whom we all follow, they worshipped Krishna in the mode of Raganuga Bhakti. That difference can be there. That difference is not the difference of knowledge itself. That difference is a mood of worship. But the knowledge cannot differ. Right? So that difference is always allowed. So if you follow the Goswamis, you will have that kind of bhakti. You will have, even among us there, right? Nityananda Prabhu's followers, they become whatever. They are one kind of way of worshipping bhakti. The Goswamis, the Gopis are in a different, little mood of different, but they all accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, right? So, moment if somebody claims to be a parampara and saying he's not accepting Krishna, then Hare Krishna, you're not in proper knowledge. You're claiming to be B.Tech or M.Tech, but actually you're cheating. It's as good as that. So, at least this knowledge of yours is wrong. Maybe other aspects of it you might have accepted. Maybe he's chanting also, maybe he's worshipping also. That is good, right? So, we appreciate those aspects. Like there are, like I said, Ramanujacharya Sampradaya is there, right? They are very bona fide. They are the real, is there, that parampara is there. There is Madhva Sampradaya also is there. They are following. Even in them there are some deviants who are not fully following what their Guru taught. So that is bound to happen everywhere, because Kali Yuga means this is, dharma gets deviated by improper followers. So that we should check whether they are improper followers or followers, that we have to check. We should not be cheated. That's for us to know what knowledge we are in, whether that. Does it explain? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.